This is filming already. This is the worst setup. I forgot the one piece to my tripod. Anyway, I'm here sat at the beach in the car so I can make this video. And it's not the best setup because, well, I forgot part of my tripod and you're resting on this. I'll show you. This is what you're resting on. You see that? But check that view though. Nice garbage can. I forgot this part where it like clips in. Anyway, great view though. Look how beautiful the mountains are. Anyway, this is how you're set up, so it's not even, but I wanted to switch up my location today. Do a little car chat. I haven't done a car chat in a really long time. I wanted to do a little car chat story and do a little chat because I think, oh, it's starting to rain. This is kind of fun. I get really weird when people are looking at me, but you know, I don't have like a big setup camera, so maybe they can't tell. There's a few people going by. There's a few people in front of me, but it's okay. It's fine. It's totally fine. Hashtag have confidence. Confused and confident. That's me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney. We're doing a car chat today, so I'm trying to be confident and have no one question me walking by why I'm talking to my phone like this. But I wanted to do a little car chat story time, switch up where we're doing the vlogs, get a little different scenery. Yeah, so I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to do a little bit of a different video today and just talk a little bit about a story that I wanted to share. This was a few years ago and I haven't shared the story very much, but I lived in Australia for a year. And that was one of the most like radical changed experiences that ever changed my life. I swear I would not be the same person today without that experience. I'm obsessed with Australia. I would go back in a heartbeat. But I wanted to bring it up because this was a time in my life where I jumped without a net, essentially. And it was really hard and it was really scary, but it literally was the most life-changing thing that I ever experienced in my life. So I wanted to talk about it. The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I think people get so caught up in having a plan before they make a dream come true that they never do it, or they overthink it so much and, you know, the limiting beliefs come up. And I think sometimes you just have to do it and know that like it's not gonna go the way you plan it anyway. So just do it, you know? Anyway, I'm obviously so passionate about people living their dreams, so something's in my eye, hang on. My eye. Anyway, so I wanted to share a little bit about this story and I'm gonna try and make it like short and to the point, but essentially the reason why I wanted to share it is because I think it's a really good example of the process of being a dreamer, but also being a doer, which is just as important as being the dreamer. Because you can have a dream and then like it just stays a dream forever. So if you want to make it reality, you got to do something about it. So way back when, I was living in Whistler. I'm originally from Ontario and I moved to Whistler in 2013. Anyway, that was fun. That was great. And I loved it so much. Oh my God, I really seriously can't see right now. I loved Whistler. It was so great. I met so many people and a few of my very best friends, one of them being my friend Jordan, who is Australian. I started to notice that I was feeling kind of like just growing out of there. I tend to have this cycle where every 2.5 years I need to switch and change something. And I had already started to feel it. I was also partying a lot, going out a lot, and just not in the healthiest choices of relationships with the opposing gender, we'll say. So needed to really switch things up and do things differently. And anyway, long story short, my friend Jordan, she was leaving and she was going back to Australia. We lived together, so it was like kind of rocked me to my core a bit when she left. And then like a couple months later, I was like, screw it, I'm going to Australia. So I did go to Australia. At this point, there had been some stuff going on in my life. Like I was not in a great mental health space when I was near the end of my stint in Whistler. I wasn't eating properly. I was just not taking care of my health. I had like no money. I just was not doing well, we'll say. There was just a lot of stuff going on and needed to change. So anyway, I was like, what's next? What am I doing with my life? Like, what do I want to do? And I remember like tossing up back and forth being like, do I want to move to Vancouver, like go work on my career, or do I want to continue to travel and go do something? Clearly I picked travel, and I think that was 100% what I needed, but also a big portion of that was because my best friend obviously had just moved back there, so it kind of made it like a pull to go. Anyway, I remember like envisioning this, and at the time I had no idea what manifesting was. I also was not into like spirituality whatsoever. I don't think I ever meditated or did yoga before then, right? So yeah, basically I kept like envisioning myself being in Australia, and I remember people were like, what would you do there? Like, what are you gonna do? And I just kept being like, I want to work on an island, like a beautiful island with like really blue water in a kids club. That's all I said. That's all I could envision. That's all I wanted to do. So I just kept saying that. Every time someone asked me, I'm like, that's what I want to do. It was very fast turnaround. It all happened super fast. I remember I had $1,500 to my name, and I was like, I'm just gonna book a ticket and go. And then I ended up saving like, I think I literally had $1,400 to go to Australia with. Like, maybe 1,500, like not a lot. Like if they were gonna check my bank account, they'd be like, oh shoot, what's this girl doing? Yeah, everything was set up, everything was good to go. I had to like come into the city from Whistler and get my paperwork done, all this stuff. Oh yeah, to back this up, I had no place to live before I had decided this. So like Whistler is the hardest place to find a house, and I was just over that. So that was a huge part of me being like, I can't do this anymore. Anyway, so I moved in with a friend. A few friends, lived in their closet, paid them $300 a month so they could like help me, so I could save money to go to Australia. Yeah, I had saved up this money. I was getting ready to go. I remember I bought my flight, whatever. Something that had happened prior to me kind of making this choice or decision is I needed to go get to the doctor and have a specialist appointment, which I had gone to before, but this is, a lot of women know this. We have to get our PAPs. And through our PAPs, they check to see if everything is good. Everything's Gucci. Everything was not Gucci for me, but I did not know that prior to booking my flight and doing all this stuff. Oh no, back it up. We're gonna rewind. Okay, I'm gonna try and explain this again in a different way, in a chronological order, okay? First and foremost, things are not going well in Whistler, okay? I'm clearly not listening to my intuition, knowing I need to be somewhere else. My best friend leaves. I'm not doing well in a, not really a relationship situation, not eating, not taking care of my body, having no money, moving in with a friend, living in their closet so I could save money to figure out my life. Just really, my life was a dumpster fire, okay? I was 24 when this was happening, by the way. What had ended up happening from in between that time frame, I was going to these doctor specialists, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they were checking to see if everything was Gucci. I had made the decision that I want to go to Australia at this point. So I was like wrapping everything up. I remember I quit my job, was just finishing touches. It was all happening really fast, but in that time frame I kept having to go to this doctor. Anyway, I got some news from the doctor first time around that wasn't great. Basically, I had HPV, all right? So they didn't give me much information at this point. There wasn't much that needed to kind of happen, but it wasn't fab. I'm not going to share all the details because I'm not ready to spill that on the internet right now. But I did have to tell the person in said non-relationship situation what was going on, and that was one of the most rock bottom moments of my freaking life, and it sucked. Anyway, I was like, I'm still going to Australia. I don't care. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, at that point, I was like, I just need to escape my life, essentially. Everyone kept asking me at that point, like, what are you gonna do when you go to Australia? Like, you don't have a job set up, nothing. And I was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't care. Like, that's where I was literally at. I did not care. I was like, get me out of this place. Get me out of this. Like, I don't want to do this. And I just kept saying, I want to work. All I kept envisioning was I want to work in the middle of an island in a kids club. All I had in my mind. Now looking back, hindsight 2020, and in the grand scheme of things, I know I was manifesting at that point. Also just kept saying to people, I just want to be happy, healthy, and full of life. That's all I kept repeating, which is clearly a mantra. At the time, I had no idea. I just kept saying that because I was not happy, I was not healthy, and I was not full of life. So that's what I wanted to be. So I had ended up at this point, cut to the point where I'm leaving Whistler and getting on the plane, or going to get on the plane, okay? This is like the moment I'm like, I've got $1,500. I'm going to stay with my friend Jordan. She's gonna pick me up at the airport. I have no idea what I'm doing from there. I have no job, nothing. This is it. This is all I have. I'm literally at the airport and I get a phone call as I'm walking onto the gate, like walking onto the plane. That's a call from my doctor being like, "Hi, Courtney. You need to come in and you're gonna have to have surgery ASAP. Yeah, we have more results from the," and I was like, "What?" What do you mean? Like, didn't we sort this out already? I'm confused. And she said, "I'm not authorized to tell you that on the phone, but you will need to come in." Ooh, really? I was like, I'm about to move to Australia for a year. So anyway, that was like quite a wild experience, to say the least. I literally was just like, is this happening right now? Is this happening right now? It was happening right now. So I just got on the plane. I literally slept the entire ride, pretty much. I think I was awake for like 3 or 4 hours. I missed 2 meals to Australia. The first flight to LA I was awake for. Then the second one, I was like, oh my God. Anyway, the point of this is I had such a knowing that I had to go that I didn't care. I did care, but like, I just was like, whatever, like pushing through all this stuff. But when I did get to Australia, things did not get better like that as I thought they were going to. It was tough, and I don't know what I would have done if it wasn't for my friend Jordan and her family. They helped me so much, more than they like ever even needed to. Ended up having surgery there. I had to tell my parents what was going on from Australia. They wanted me to literally come home. I was like, I'm not coming home, so I need to have the surgery here, which cost money that I clearly did not have. I was running out. I had no job. I kept getting like a job in a before and after school program, and I kept being like, where is this job that I keep envisioning, right? And I kept saying like, I just want to work in an island in the middle of the ocean. And obviously it's an island. I threw out all of this. I remember I was getting messages from back home being like, you know, like, we can fly you back home. Like, what do you need? Like, what are you searching for? And the whole point of this was like, I wasn't searching for anything. I was following a calling and knowing. I knew I needed to be there. I just knew it. I just was like, no, like, I don't care what I have to go through. I am doing this. And I just knew, so I had this knowing, I had a calling, and I knew I had to go through it. So there was opportunities to turn my life, to go back, to keep going back, to turn around, to give up, to start again. And I just knew I had to keep going, and it was super freaking hard, like so tough. But then what happened was I walked by this place. I lived in Camden for a bit, and I had so much fun there, being like the most foreign person with my friend Jordan. And I remember I walked by this travel agency in this like small little town, and they had a booklet in the front of the window, and the front window booklet was a picture of the Whitsundays, and it was like the Gold Coast. And I stopped and I looked at it. So I went in and I grabbed the book, and then when I went home, I had just started like ripping out pages, like looking at everything I possibly could, like where would I want to go? Like, if I could pick anywhere, where would I want to go? So I started to apply for jobs. First I applied to Hamilton. No, I didn't apply to Hamilton Island. I applied to, if anyone from Australia, you're watching this, I can't think of what it is called right now. I'll pop it here somewhere. It's the other one. Tom, you worked there, buddy. I can't remember what that one's called. Anyway, I applied to this other island. I'll insert it somewhere. And did not get that job. Then I applied to Hayman Island, which was quite a jump, not literally, but like a jump in like quality of islands that you would work at, I guess. I applied to Hayman Island, and I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my God, I applied to the kids club attendant there, and I'll never forget it. I had my interview. I was shaking. It was on the phone. I was so nervous, just being like, I had just had this surgery. I was like, like, please let this be the thing. Like, this would help me so much. I remember thinking like the wage was the best that I'd ever even thought like I could make. Like, it just was too perfect. And one of the things he had said to me on the phone was, you know, you can only work here for 6 months because of your visa. So like, that's not something that I don't know if we want to go for. Oh no, like, please, like, please, 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 please. I was not begging to him on the phone, but I might as well have. Turns out, long story short, I got the job. I manifested it. It came true. I was so excited because at that point I was like, do I go home or do I... Oh my God, I didn't even tell this part of the story. Whoa. So I was going for another interview in Sydney, which was for a nanny position. And on the way there, we literally got in a car accident. We got rear-ended. I was with Jordan's mom, got rear-ended. Now that I know all the signs from the universe is like, no girl, you just nannied. This is not what you're doing, okay? Anyway, but I didn't know that at the time. Went to the interview. It was a very overwhelming day. That was clearly not what I was supposed to be doing. Ended up, had an interview call with this other guy, got that job. I was so excited. I think within like 2 weeks, I was going to Brisbane where I stopped and met my other friend for a little bit. I moved to the island, all with like literally $800. I remember I had $0 getting on the plane to go from Brisbane to, not even, to go to Brisbane, I had to like remove a bunch of clothes because I didn't have money to bring them on the plane with me. My backpack was too full and I couldn't pay the overages. Anyway, it's funny now, but I was crying in the airport. That was good. The guy's like, it's okay, you don't have to throw it anymore. I got rid of like 3 shoes. Anyway, I got to the island, which was so fun. I got to Airlie Beach first and I hung out there for a couple weeks. And I remember when I first got there, so I knew I had money coming in from this like part-time job that I'd been working at, and I didn't know how much, but I couldn't check into my hostel that I was staying at until that money came in. So I basically went to the beach there, sat, and I had $0 in my bank account when I first got there off the plane. I remember just sitting with my backpack looking at the ocean, this blue ocean, and this feeling just came over me of like, oh my God, I made it. Like, I'm here. I did it. Like, I can't even describe to you the feeling. Like, it makes me want to cry because that was what I kept envisioning in my mind, and I made it there. And I checked my bank account. I'm like, I wonder if it came through. $800. There it is. I had $800 and it was in my bank account, which was so great. I could check into this hostel. I was feeling loaded with $800. And so I did it. I went and I just had the best 2 weeks of my life on this vacay before I started working on the island. Went to the island, and that could be a story for another day, that whole trip, but like that whole experience, my whole life changed. Oh, I just like love it so much, and all the people I met there were absolutely amazing. Wait, that was like that was the best experience of my life. And anyway, if you were one of those people that were part of that whole experience with me, I think about it a lot. It literally changed my life so much. My whole Australia experience could be a different story. Should be a different story because I did so much healing there. I learned a lot about myself. I got to travel and go find myself, and that's not a bad thing. It was challenging to move through everything, especially when a lot of people doubted me and didn't, there was a lot of like, it's not working, you need to maybe turn around and go back home, like I easily could have when I had to get surgery in a foreign country, which not really that foreign. I'm basically Australian now. I tell people that. But anyway, I could have easily stopped to that trip, and I didn't. I just kept going. So, and I think the moral of this story is that when you have a calling and when you have an inner knowing of like something that you really, really, really want to do, you have to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts, you have to do it. And don't let people stand in your way because they can't see what you see and they don't know your feelings. So you have to just do it. That's what I wanted to share today. So I'm gonna go and go put my feet in the sand because I love that. But I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope it wasn't too long or all over the place. Moral of the story, follow your dreams. Don't forget to subscribe.